Hi guys, BellaDonna Black here, and here are 5 creepy encounters. So, turn off the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. Number 1. This bizarre story happened to me at the drive-thru of a KFC, maybe 10 years ago. I was waiting on a long line on a really hot summer day, windows down in the car with no AC. The pickup window was around the back of the building, but the line wrapped around the side, so from where I was, I had a direct view of the front doors. I was also meeting up with my brother, his girlfriend, and another friend, and they were further up in the same line. As I'm sitting there, this guy comes out of the doors, large bags of food in both hands, big fat belly, not like morbidly obese, but just a big dude in general. He's walking my general direction, and I notice how disheveled he looks as he's coming closer. Ragged, patchy hair and stubble, droopy sweatpants, a dirty stained t-shirt just covered in food stains, and a dark stripe of yuck down his chest. And of course, drenched in sweat. At this point, I'm staring a bit, and he notices, locks eyes, and starts heading towards my car. I'm getting a little concerned now, but I'm just transfixed, watching this mess shambling towards me. He finally gets close to the car, and close up, it gets as bad. His skin is blotchy red, his eyes yellow and cloudy, dripping sweat and gasping for each breath. Now, I'm not really afraid of this guy, just kind of dumbfounded, and wondering what he could want from me. He was a wreck, but pretty clearly not homeless, and had probably $50 of food in his hands. When he finally spoke, it was beyond anything I could have expected, with a voice that sounded like the Edgar character from Men in Black, though coated in chicken grease. He says, "If I give you $5, will you jump on my stomach?" My brain explodes, and all I can muster is, what? "I'll give you $5 and lay down over here, and you jump on my stomach, okay?" No man, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry." To which he simply huffed and walked away. I think he got into a car, but I'm not sure really. I went and got my food in a daze thinking, what the fuck just happened? And pulled around into the parking lot where my brother was waiting. "Hey, what were you talking to that weird guy about?" Number 2. My friend and I were leaving McDonald's and going to her car. We were about halfway through the car park when someone starts beeping their horn. Not a little toot, a solid 5 seconds or so of honking. We both looked round, and there was a guy wearing a pair of Sharkeez who had stopped his car right near us to give us a smile. I immediately got really bad feeling from him. We both looked at each other like, nope, and started walking even faster to her car. I heard him actually laugh as he began to drive to the drive-thru. He kind of wrapped around the car park in a U-shape, if that makes sense. By the time we got to the car, the guy was waiting to collect his order. He was just sitting there, staring at us, smiling in a way that made my skin crawl. He started honking at us again, and makes a kissing motion with his mouth, followed by a gesture that involves placing his fingers on the other side of his lips. We both started flipping him off again. He just laughed. We got out there as fast as possible because we both get the worst possible vibes from this guy. We carry on driving around, and after a few minutes, that feeling starts creeping back. Surprise! We realize McCreep has been following us. We start trying to lose him by taking random turns, but he says following close, anything right behind us. We pull up to a set of lights as they're yellow, and my friend fucking floored it through them. And just as we get through them, they go red, leaving McCreep at a standstill. She then turned down the first street on the left, then down another street. She pulled over and parked in front of someone else's car, and we both turned around in our seats, in time to see him driving down the first street we had turned down. As soon as we saw him drive past our street, she zoomed off in the opposite direction, and we went straight home. Barely saying a word to each other. The Sundays were still good though. Number 3. I work at a coffee shop. When I open the store, I have to get there long before the sun is up, especially in winter. One really cold winter morning, I was walking the 10 or so blocks to the bus stop. I live in a decently safe neighbourhood, so I don't mind walking to the bus alone in the dark. Nothing bad has ever happened to me before, and I've lived in much worse neighbourhoods prior to this. I walk 3 or 4 blocks when I see someone up the street. They look like they're in a heated conversation, using both hands to make random gestures. The problem is that there isn't anyone else there with them. I just assume they're on a headset, maybe arguing on the phone. Just to be safe, I cross to the other side of the street, so I won't have to deal with them. As I approach their block, I notice that she is not yelling straight ahead. She is yelling down, and she is not yelling at no one. There's a man on the ground. She is yelling at him, and I can't make out what she says. At one point, she tries to pull him up, but he is limp. It is at least minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit out. If the man is just drunk, he might still freeze to death. I call the police, and they come just as my bus pulled up. Unfortunately, I did not get to see if he was okay, and I never found the police report. While I hope that he is still alive and the woman receives the help she needs, but either way, I hope we never cross paths again. Number 4. I was about 10 when this happened, and I was at my aunt's house for a few days. We were coming back from eating dinner, and it was already about 7 p.m. and dark out. We stopped to get some gas, and across the street from the gas station were some apartments with a brick fence and a gate. When my aunt was putting in gas from what sounded like the parking lot of the apartments, we heard a blood-curdling scream. It was a woman frantically crying for help, and she continued to scream, so we tried to see what's happening, but it was too dark. My aunt calls the police, and we wait a few minutes for them to come. The screaming continued until about a minute before the police arrived, and they searched the area. My aunt talked to the police, and she told me they found nothing. I have no idea what happened that night, who the woman was, and why she was screaming. Number 5. I remember sometime last year reading that one about the smiling man, and then watching the YouTube video that she provided with the post. It was creepy enough that I got the shivers and a little creeped out. If you don't know what the story is, I suggest googling it or searching around Reddit for it. But if you're too lazy, I'll have a small anecdote here, so skip this next part if you don't want to be spoiled. Though my story mirrors this one a lot. Basically, it's dark out, a man is walking home, turns around and sees his man walking in a weird way with a giant, creepy smile on his face. He gets pursued by the smiling man. Fast forward to a few weeks later, I've read the story. I'm on my college campus. My roommate and I, both of us are females, decide to treat ourselves and go for ice cream in the local shop. Mind you, it was pretty dark out. It was around 9:30 or 10 at this point. We're both cautious people, and I'm super paranoid about these kinds of things, so we walked with mace for protection. I keep looking around and try to appear as alert as possible, because I've read before that it's best to look like you're aware of your surroundings to help prevent any kind of assault or attack. We're walking up this steep hill that isn't well lit, when I turn to look behind us and see this guy walking pretty fast despite the hill's angle, and he has the biggest smile on his face, but he's staring straight down. I didn't mention it to my friend at first because I figured my paranoia was getting the best of me. However, a few minutes later I noticed that this guy is catching up to us, and his smile hasn't faltered. As far as I could tell, his eyes were wide open and not blinking. That's when I decided to poke my friend and whisper to her about this guy. We decided to wait to see if he followed us, and if he did, we'd just run into a different shop that seemed to be the most busy. He followed us. Every little weird turn or change of direction, he followed. It was like he was mocking us. So we ran into a fast food restaurant and tried to calm down. He walked by the store once, then turned around and went back in the direction we came from, but that was the last we saw of him. Definitely creeped me out enough to avoid reading similar stories for a while. Hi guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below and subscribe to my channel. You can also check out my Facebook page and my Twitter. Both links will be found in the description below.